Hey everybody, BK with Masada Tactical here with another video. I want to start by thanking everybody that's been watching my last few videos. I appreciate somebody's paying attention. And I also want to thank those of you that were sending comments, adding comments to the actual links, or sending me direct messages. I do appreciate it. It makes it a lot easier on me to make sure I give you the content that you guys want. So today's video is actually going to be a direct response to a question that was asked after my hotel safety and security video, where I mentioned that I always have a first aid kit with me. And the question was, how do I build an economical first aid kit? So before I go into different tools and how to build a kit, I want to explain that whatever kit you build has to match your level of experience. So don't carry tools that you don't know how to use or that you're not allowed to use legally. And it should be geared towards your expected needs or usage. So what I mean by that is my need when I am deploying as a police officer is going to be different than my needs when I am in my vehicle with my family, right? Or when I'm in the military or doing dignitary protection, right? Each one of those requires a different set of tools because my expected potential injuries that I'm going to be dealing with is different. But putting that aside for a second, let's discuss what we consider to be the preventable causes of death. So the Committee of TCCC, okay, the Committee of the Tactical Combat Casualty Care, which pretty much governs and oversees this tactical medical approach, identified three what they consider to be preventable causes of death. Okay, so this is from research and statistical information from the military over the past couple decades, right? So the first one is extremity hemorrhage, so bleeding from arms and legs, right? About 60%. About 30% is from tension pneumothorax, so that's pressure building in my chest cavity, okay? That makes it obviously harder for my lungs to work, expand and contract, and therefore affecting my breathing and eventually killing me. And the third one is airway obstruction, not being able to maintain proper passage of air into my body and out, right? So about 60, 30, 10 is the percentages that are assigned to it. If we think about the environment that statistics is derived from, so you think about the military, right? Most of them are wearing helmets and body armor, which the only thing then remaining exposed arms and legs, which is why they see so many injuries to those areas. Not to mention that one of the main issues they deal with are explosive devices, IEDs, right? Which again will tear limbs off. So that's why their main concern is extremity hemorrhage, and their go-to tool is a tourniquet, right? In the civilian world, I am not protected in my torso, and more often than not, I'm not worried about explosives, right? So from a vehicle accident to random shootings, right, what ends up getting injured the most is actually my torso and head. And in that case, I want to prevent that or fix that, and my go-to tool would be an occlusive chest dressing, right? An occlusive bandage or a chest seal. So let's talk about those, okay? I can't cover the all medical approach in a short video, so I'm going to concentrate on these two today, and we're going to get into airway obstruction and secondary and ancillary type injuries and how to treat them in future videos, right? But let's talk about a chest seal. So this one is made by iFin. Essentially, it's an adhesive bandage. I can actually open one and show you. Okay. Comes like this. It will come with a little piece of gauze to wipe whatever blood or whatever is there that will prevent this from sticking to your body. And it's super sticky bandage that goes directly on your skin. I don't know if you guys can see the channels through it. This is a vented chest seal, which means it allows pressure to go out, but not allowing it back in. Okay, this will cost about $20 for what is called a twin pack. A twin pack because there are two of them here. If I'm concerned about an entry wound, I should be concerned also about an exit wound, and if I have two holes, addressing only one is not going to be enough. I have to address them both. If there is a hole where one shouldn't have been, you have to close it, you have to seal it. If there isn't a hole where one should have been, think about your airway, right? I need to open it, right? So that's a general approach. So for the civilian world, I would say probably one of my primary needs is a good chest seal. They cost about $20 for a twin pack. But if I want to be economical, which is the question that I received, go with duct tape. Duct tape will adhere to your body, to your torso. It's inexpensive, and I can use it in multiple of application. Is it as good? No, there's always going to be a trade-off between quality and quantity and the price, right? But if I really want to think economical, duct tape has been used for this purpose in the past. It worked. It is, again, not ideal, but significantly cheaper, and you're gonna get a lot more for it. So chest seal in the civilian world is my first tool. Second one is obviously a tourniquet. So even though it's not my primary concern in the civilian world, it is something that I'm greatly concerned about in general, because bleedings do happen and they will lead to shock and eventually death if not addressed. So if there's anything on the extremities, anything that I can compress the blood vessel against the bone, I would like to use a tourniquet. This is a Cat 7, this is a training one because it's blue. They'll typically come in packages like this. The packages say do not take it out of package until ready to use. I suggest you take it out of the package as soon as you get it, because the last thing you want to do with bloody hands and sweating and losing dexterity because of stress is try to mess around with this plastic coverage. So unwrap it, but keep it closed in this position so it doesn't get contaminated, it doesn't get stretched out, it doesn't lose its proprietary abilities, right? So this is the Cat 7, as I said. This is the go-to. It's about $30 depending on where you buy it. It is what is fielded the most to law enforcement and the military around the world. It works great, so it's my go-to. It is certainly not the only tourniquet, and I'm going to discuss different tourniquets as we go through future videos. But regardless of whether you carry this or not, I would say also carry a SWAT T. It's also a tourniquet that uses an elastic silicone band essentially to apply that pressure and compress the blood vessel. The problem with it is very hard for you to self-apply it, so it's good to use on others. The reason I recommend taking that is because the way the Cat works is using this plastic plate against the limb in order to apply the pressure. This plastic plate is a certain size, and below a certain diameter, this will just not work anymore. So if I'm dealing with someone that has really small limbs, like a pediatric patient, a child, right? I don't know if that's something you're concerned about, but I have little kids, so it's something I'm concerned about. Or if you want to prevent extremity hemorrhage on a canine, let's say on a dog, then I can still use a SWAT T and do so where I can't necessarily use a Cat. The SWAT T is also significantly cheaper. It's about $12 compared to the $30 that we said. So if we talk about economy, that would work. You can go cheaper. The Rat is not one that I would recommend typically, but it's a significantly cheaper tourniquet. It's a bungee cord essentially with an anchor point that you can apply against your body and make it work. You want to go real economical? Get a cravat, a triangular bandage for about $1, and something hard like a Sharpie, or in this case the case of a chest decompression needle. Okay, something that I can use to create a windlass lever, and I can create a tourniquet with that. So I can go from $30 down to $1 depending on my needs and my abilities. Again, you will sacrifice quality, okay, going with something like this. This is not gonna be my first choice for a tourniquet, although it will work. As you can see, there's a lot of other tools here, from different ways of carrying my kids to hemostatic dressings, compression bandages, ACE bandages, NPAs, nasopharyngeal airways. I have shears here. I have all kinds of stuff, and we're going to talk about it as we go on. The one thing I do want to mention, and I don't want to forget, is a pair of gloves. Okay, if I'm treating a family member, a loved one, I'm not too concerned about this. I would keep them a little safe from an infection standpoint, but that's not what I'm worried about at that point in time. But if I'm dealing with someone I don't know, my health and my safety is not worth it, not to sound mean, but when there's an easy fix like me putting gloves on that costs literally cents, and now I can go and treat you and not worry about being contaminated and getting whatever you possibly have, okay, go ahead and do so. It doesn't take hardly any space in any kit. It's tiny, it's pliable, it's cheap, and it's certainly worth the investment. So if you have any question about any of these medical tools, I'm going to post some links throughout the video, so hopefully you guys can get a hold of them. If you need to reach out to me, we do sell them all, so I'll be more than happy to assist. And in future videos, we'll actually, now that I know there's interest, I'll go into how to properly use them and how to use the other tools that I have here. How do I carry them, and so forth. As always, I appreciate the time that you guys took to watch these videos. Please subscribe, get other people to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please like us on social media, Facebook and Instagram being the main ones, LinkedIn as well if you want to follow me personally, BK. And that's about it. Shoot me more messages, stay in touch, let me know what I can provide you. As always, watch your six, take care, and stay healthy.